everybody, welcome to today's edition of Good Evening KU. My name's Caroline Soro.
And I'm Tom Milnaric.
Tom, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. How was yours?
It was pretty good. Did you happen to catch the KU football game on Saturday?
I happened to catch the game a little, but after the second quarter, it was just started to be a landslide a little.
Oh my gosh. I know. I tuned in at the beginning and I was like, okay, everything's going fine. Like, we're keeping it tight. And then I checked back a little bit later and it was just lost cause pretty much.
Everything was good. At the beginning, it was 7-all. When I remember a Baylor player got ejected for targeting, but then something just took a rapid turn.
I know. Hey, maybe we'll bounce back this weekend.
Yeah, the Kansas Jayhawks are playing this weekend versus Oklahoma State at 2:30. So are you going to go to the game?
I think I will end up buying a ticket.
I'm going to the game too.
Yeah, awesome.
Next, we're going to talk about the DeBruce Center. The DeBruce Center was recently closed because one of the faculty members tested positive for the coronavirus. Have you been there?
You're kidding. I have. The DeBruce Center is one of my favorite places to eat. Great food, awesome smoothies. But yeah, that's awesome that they're reopening. Good to know.
Yeah, it just reopened on the 28th, and they plan to reopen and make sure to wear your mask while in there to keep everyone safe.
Awesome. Good to know. So Tom, are you planning on tuning into the presidential debate tonight?
I'm really excited to watch the presidential debate. I've actually getting more educated, so I'm actually really excited to watch it.
Yeah, awesome. I think I'm going to end up tuning into it too. I think it'll be good to be informed and just watch what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, good to know. Well, I will be bringing on one of my sorority sisters, Mira Felzein, to discuss the debate tonight and the importance of voting. We'll be back after the short break.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me again. I'm here today with our guest, Mira Felzein. She's one of my sorority sisters and also a senior here at KU, and she's majoring in environmental studies. Mira, what's up? How's it going? How are you?
Hey, not much is happening here. It's a beautiful day. I've just kind of been hanging out around the house. How are you?
You know what? I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, do you have any plans tonight, or are you planning on tuning into the presidential debate at 8?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually going to grab some dinner with some friends tonight, and then we're going to hang out after dinner, and then we're all going to watch the debate together in our couch in our TV room.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. So, what are your thoughts about the debate? Like, are you just watching it to be informed? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't really know what to expect. I feel like all of 2020 has just been kind of crazy, and I'm expecting this debate to be kind of crazy too. I think we have a really polarized and divided country right now, and I don't necessarily think the debate's going to help with that. So I think it will maybe get kind of crazy, but I'm excited to see what happens. I definitely want to be informed more, but I have to be honest, I don't think the debate's really going to change how I'm going to vote in the election.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So you are planning on voting in the election this year then?
Yes, I am. I'm actually from Missouri, so I'm voting absentee because I'm already registered to vote in Missouri, and so I have to drive home to vote. My parents already have my ballot, and then I'm going to send it in.
All right, good to know. I think I'm probably going to do something similar since I'm from out of state too.
Yeah.
My mom's probably going to mail my ballot to me and then I'll just drop it off here. But what do you think about the importance of voting? Like, do you think everybody should get out and vote? Like, what's your thought process here?
Yeah, I definitely think voting is important. I think it's really sad a lot of people in our generation don't think that voting really matters or that what happens in our government affects us. But I think that we want people representing us and that care about issues that we care about, or else things that we desire to happen, we're never going to see change that we desire. And so I think that the stereotype that people our age shouldn't vote, I think that everyone our age should vote and everyone every age should vote, you know?
No, I completely agree. I think you made some really good points, and I agree. I think it's important to vote. We have a platform, and I think we should use it. But yeah, so Mira, thank you so much for joining us today. We've loved having you on the show. And everybody, don't forget how important it is to vote. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Jenna and Andrew with the news.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Andrew. Welcome to your Tuesday edition of Good Evening KU. We are sad to find out about the wildfires still raging across the western United States, burning pretty much everything in their wake.
Yes, it is devastating. According to NBC News, footage of the devastation in Northern California revealed nothing but charred remains of homes, cars, and bicycles.
More than 3.7 million acres have been scorched in California, making the glass fire one of the worst in state history. We can only hope authorities will be able to get these fires under control soon.
Today is a big day in the world of politics, as the first presidential debate of the 2020 election is tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Andrew, are you planning on watching the debate later?
Yes, I am. I'm interested to hear both candidates' opinions about what's happening with the open Supreme Court position. It seems like tension is at an all-time high after Trump's nomination of Amy Coney Barrett this week.
I agree. It will be pretty interesting to watch for sure. There is a bit of controversy here on campus as well. A Black Lives Matter protest made its way down Jayhawk Boulevard around 2 p.m. yesterday.
The protest blocked off main campus roads, causing buses to reroute around the outskirts of campus. According to the Daily Kansan, some students set up chairs in the middle of the road, while others were equipped with signs.
All of the students participating were advocating for justice and supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. The protest died down after about 2.5 hours, and Jayhawk Boulevard was reopened around 4 p.m.
In other KU-related news, KU Athletics reached the decision to allow a limited number of fans at select fall sporting events moving forward. Up to 10,000 fans can be admitted to David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium for the homecoming game against Oklahoma State this Saturday, October 3rd.
Football isn't the only sport hosting fans during October, though. 250 fans will be allowed at Horst Family Volleyball Arena, and 400 fans will be allowed at Rock Chalk Park Soccer Stadium.
If you're planning on following COVID-19 guidelines correctly, feel free to buy a ticket and support your Jayhawks over the next few weeks.
Now we have Ciro and Reese with our sports update.
Welcome back. I'm Reese, and I'm joined by my partner Ciro here today. And boy, oh boy, it's time. It is time for the NBA Finals. Are you ready?
I'm completely ready. About to see, what is it now, LeBron's 10th, not consecutive, but 10th.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that he's able to lead his third NBA franchise to the promised land again. And hopefully, we'll see which team will win, which is interesting. He's playing his former team, which is the Miami Heat, where he won it the first time. And this is a completely different team now. We're looking at a Heat team that is a lot more defensive and a lot more about spacing, as they're actually a better three-point shooting than the Lakers are this season.
And it's crazy to think. People would go as far to say that LeBron saved his legacy by going to Miami, and here he is looking to further cement his legacy playing Miami now. And I mean, the thing we have to talk about the most, it's the two best players in the series. Maybe not the best, because Anthony Davis is a great player. The two players with the most legacy-changing moments on the line. LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, sure to be on each other a lot in this series. So tell me, who do you really favor in this matchup? Where do you see it going?
I favor the Lakers due to the fact that LeBron James and AD is just a duo that is unstoppable. They're probably both top 5 players, while the Heat don't have a top 5 player. They only have maybe a top 10, top 15 player. So with that being said, LeBron is the most dominant player on this matchup, and with him going against Jimmy Butler, who doesn't even break 20 points a game in this bubble, which they've both played 22 games so far in the bubble, and it's just interesting to see if the Heat can even steal a game or two, because I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers were to win 4-1 or even sweep it.
Certainly interesting to note, and a lot of people are wanting to say the torch has been passed to perhaps Giannis or maybe even Kawhi, but LeBron in Game 6 against the Denver Nuggets, Game 5 against the Denver Nuggets, he turned back the clock, took over in the final 5 minutes of that game, and proved that it's not the end of the LeBron era just yet. But perhaps the most important matchup of the series, how will the Heat defend Anthony Davis?
That's an interesting one, because we know they signed Andrew Iguodala to be the LeBron killer, because he had done that for Golden State Warriors in the previous finals that he had been matched up against LeBron. Though they don't have a player besides Bam Adebayo who can actually match up against AD, and they're going to have Dwight Howard there. So it's interesting to see if Jay Crowder or Andrew Iguodala or even Jimmy Butler are going to be going up against LeBron or AD, just because of the mismatch in heights there.
Very good to note, too, because it's actually Anthony Davis is the most efficient mid-range scorer in the bubble. It's going to be interesting to see how Miami can match up with him, because as you said, Bam is collectively the best interior defender for the Heat. Mm-hmm. But if you had to pick a weakness for Bam, it would have to be his perimeter defense.
100%.
And Anthony Davis,
you saw
maybe the best perimeter big man in the league. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be extremely tough for Miami to cover him, which all signs point to how are they going to cover him, which I'm going to have to agree with you. I don't see a way in which Los Angeles loses this series. I would go 5, maybe 6 games. It just, to me, Miami's going to sneak one out. That killer instinct that they had against Boston. Mm-hmm. Jimmy is, for lack of better words, a dog. Jimmy gets it done when Jimmy needs to get it done.
Both sides.
Maybe the best leader in the league behind LeBron James, who he's going up against. But yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. And another interesting kind of one-on-one in this series, maybe the third interesting in the series, but Alex Caruso versus Tyler Hero, the two best players on each team's respective benches. How do you kind of see that matchup faring?
That's interesting because, Tyler Hero gets all the acclaim for being a phenomenal shooter and scorer.
Which he certainly.
But Alex Caruso gets praise for being a microwave off the bench on the offensive side, but also on the defensive side, because he's shown he has the knack to be a pickpocketer and making hustle plays. While Tyler Hero, he's just shown that he can make the big shots and make the big plays on the offensive side. So it's a really interesting case to see if that Tyler Hero is going to be able to show the defensive side of his game this series.
And Tyler Hero, he actually has the best player efficiency rating in the final 4 minutes of the bubble, which is certainly surprising to hear for a rookie that I can speak from witnessing that many Miami Heat fans were not happy with them bringing in. But no, I think it's interesting to hit on Alex Caruso, because going into the season almost, they signed him, or didn't sign him, he was on the team, but it was almost kind of thought of as a meme.
Yeah, he was an afterthought.
Yeah, and now at this point, he's maybe their third, fourth option behind LeBron, AD, and maybe Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
But no, he's certainly a great player. And it's another player that's going to have a huge impact on this series for Los Angeles. Rajon Rondo, what can they get out of Rondo?
Playoff Rondo.
Exactly. Rondo has been fantastic this postseason. And I don't mean just decently fantastic. He's probably been their third or fourth best player.
Yeah.
And when LeBron comes off the court, LeBron's the Lakers' primary ball handler. That's a given. I mean, they list him as point guard. They start him with Danny Green and KCP. But when he comes off the court, that falls to Rajon Rondo, who has done an excellent job facilitating with AD, Dwight, and I don't know. It's such a tough matchup for Miami. Miami's going to have to play Eric Spoelstra will have to have the best game plan of his life if Miami wants to maybe even just take it to 7.
No, I 100% agree. Rajon Rondo is the second best ball distributor on the Lakers. When LeBron was coming off the court and Rondo was still out with injuries, we saw how the offense went stagnant and it wasn't able to move. People weren't moving around. But you see, when Rondo's on the court, even on the same time as LeBron, it opens up the court for everyone else, because everyone's thinking, what's LeBron going to do? And he becomes a decoy, opening up the rest of the team. So with Rondo being there, either with LeBron on the court or without LeBron on the court, you don't see the offense slow down due to the fact that he's still having people get open, make plays. Even when he's not scoring, he's passing and making defensive plays against the other team's best offensive player.
So do you think we're going to get a glimpse of prime Dwight?
I hope so. You can only remember those days back in 2009 when he went against the Lakers in those NBA Finals and lost in a sweep against the great Kobe Bryant.
And this would be his first ring. Before we go, who's your Finals MVP?
I think it's going to be LeBron James just because of, he has a chip on his shoulder thinking that he's never going to be able to get it done. How about yourself?
And he's not happy about that, not
Yeah.
winning the regular season MVP. I'm going to go with AD. That's all the time we got here. But Adrian will be back with weather after this short break.
Hello and welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Adrian Campa here with your weather forecast. And right now we have pretty nice conditions, sitting at 73 degrees out there with mostly sunny skies and light winds from the west at 14 miles per hour. Checking out satellite and radar, really nothing going on across Kansas. Lots of sunshine throughout the entire state. But if you notice to our east, there's a big line of clouds. It's actually a cold front that blasted through the area earlier this week. And if you notice north of us, this little line of clouds, that's actually a jet stream. And with that, we're going to be monitoring that because we're going to expect a dip the day after tomorrow in that jet stream. And it's going to bring us some cooler temperatures. That's also what's aiding in the fires out west because you see nothing going on out there. They have a huge high pressure system blocking any type of precipitation. So horrible news out west, but lots of sunshine for us and no threat of any fires or anything like that. For this evening from 6 to 9 p.m., temperatures are going to fall from the low 70s into the upper 50s at 59 degrees at 9 p.m. and our winds are going to continue to remain light. For tonight's forecast, expecting a low of 50 degrees, mostly clear skies and a little breezy with winds from the west-southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, a high of 78 degrees with mainly sunny skies and gusty winds. Winds will be from the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, but we could see some gusts over 30 miles an hour. So if you're planning to be outside at all, hold on to your papers because the winds are going to be blowing pretty strong. Our extended forecast, 78 degrees tomorrow, almost 80, so pretty warm for this time of year. But then a cold front, a little boundary, more instead of a cold front, a boundary comes through Thursday, knocking us down to 63 degrees. We stay pretty cool, but then Saturday, if you're heading out to the game, this is where we're watching for another weather disturbance. A cold front comes through the area that day. There is a chance of an isolated shower. You'll have to stay tuned to the forecast as we get closer to Saturday. But if you do have plans for the game, be mindful. It's going to be a little cooler and a chance for an isolated shower. Sunday, high of only 58, and then we remain pretty cool, especially into early next week with temperatures remaining in the 60s, and then warming back up into the mid-70s on Tuesday. That is all we have for you today. This is actually our 200th Good Evening KU episode. We will see you next week, and thanks for watching.